Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about credit cards versus debit cards. So this is a pretty basic topic, but we're going to be analyzing each of them and finding out the pros and cons of each and which card is best for what type of person. So if you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button. It helps out the channel a lot, and assuming that you've done that, let's get right into the video. So we're going to start out with credit cards and then go on to debit cards. So credit cards, what is a credit card? Now, a lot of this information that I'm going to be sharing in this video is from an investing site called Investopedia. It is kind of the encyclopedia of all things investment and personal finance, and I get a lot of the stuff from this channel. I refer to a lot of stuff from that site, so if you want to go check that out, feel free to. No way linked, no way sponsored by them or anything, just put that in there. So, credit cards and debit cards look similar, they're used for the same things, and they can be commonly confused with one another, which is why I'm making this video. So credit cards is a card that is issued by a bank that allows the cardholder to borrow money. Cardholders agree to pay the money back along with interest according to the terms set by the bank. Basically, what that definition means is you get a card that's issued by a bank and you are basically borrowing money and then paying it back. So what are the pros to this? Number one is you can get a lot of benefits with credit cards. Stuff like miles, money, points that can be redeemed for food, travel, groceries, cashback. All these things are points that you only get with credit cards. So that's a big pro off the bat. Another one is fraud protection. This has become very, very common. A lot of fraud happening with credit cards, and you have almost 100% chance of getting your money back, and you don't have to worry about any of those. The next one is giving you an access to a line of debt. This is incredibly important for buying things that you cannot otherwise afford. Now, this is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. If you're out there trying to get $1,000 designer purse or shoes or whatever, and you don't really have the money, it can be a bad thing. But let's say you're going to try buying a house. You're not going to have $500,000 or $200,000 to pay up in cash. So that's when credit cards and borrowing money is the right thing to do. Now, a lot of these things that we're going to be covering here, a lot of these are principles that I highlighted back in my financial fundamental videos. So if you haven't gone and see that, I will put a link somewhere in the description below and you can go check that out before you come here. Another one is you can build credit history. Credit score, credit score, credit score. We've all heard it. It's incredibly important in buying homes or cars or everything. People ask you your credit score. So you can't build credit score with a debit card. So for that, you're going to be needing a credit card. And then you can get cash back, which I kind of highlighted earlier. For every purchase that you might get, for every gas purchase, you might get a 1% back. Every grocery store, you might get 3% back, and so on and so on. So those are the pros of having a credit card. Now let's go on to the negative side of things. So one of the major cons is extravagant spending can lead to immense debt. So this is really back to the thing of financial discipline. If you're a person who knows when to spend the money and how to spend the money, credit cards are perfectly fine. But extravagant spending, people who partake in that and people who are just likely to go and blow all their money right after they get it, it can lead to immense debt because it's not really your money. You don't need $200 to buy an $800 thing. You're kind of just borrowing somebody else's money and you don't get that feel of money, and you would buy things that you would normally not buy with cash. Another really cool statistic that I heard from Dave Ramsey's YouTube video is that Americans spend 17% more when spending on a credit card over cash. That is a huge amount, and it all comes down to psychology. When we put down a piece of plastic, what he says is when we put down a piece of plastic, we're not feeling that we're losing anything. So we'll just go and spend and spend and spend. But when we're giving the cash, the pain of giving the cash to receive our thing is a lot greater, which is why we spend a lot less when we buy with cash. Now, is this the right way to go? Maybe, maybe not. So that's one of the things that you want to look out for. If you know yourself as an extravagant spender, stay away from credit cards. Now, another one of the major cons is credit card debt has insane interest rates. So let's say you forgot to pay it off 1 month, you could be getting crazy interest rates onto this money that you're going to have to pay month after month after month. Some of these interest rates can be as high as 30%, which is insane. The average around 17%, but still, that's incredibly a lot amount to be charged on. So what credit card companies want is for you to not pay off your debt. They want to be able to charge you interest upon interest and just accumulate your debt and put you in a pool of debt that you cannot get out of. But that's the major thing that you have to try to avoid. But if you do, you're going to be charged a very hefty interest fee. Another important statistic is the average American carries around $7,000 worth of credit card debt, and this is being charged interest upon every single month. I think that's it for our cons. Another one is most of our credit card debt is unsecured, meaning there is no collateral, which means, like we learned about in our financial fundamentals, there's no collateral. You don't have to put anything with it. It's not like you lose anything like for a car or something. They can take your car, they can take your house. But credit card debt is a type of unsecured debt, which is bad. Now, moving on to our second part, which is debit cards. What are the pros and cons of these? I have a debit card. I covered it up so you guys can't take my money. But yeah, I got a debit card. I'm 14 years old, and one other thing that I wanted to highlight is debit card has no age restriction. If I forgot to say, this credit card is an 18-year-old minimum age, so you have to be 18 years to get it. Debit card has no age whatsoever. You can get it at any age, but if you are under 18, you must have a parent or a guardian sign with you, which is why I have a debit card. Now, one of the pros of having a debit card are money is taken directly from your account. This is something that we've all learned. If you have $100, you can only take stuff up to $100 from your account. So basically, the minute I swipe the card, it's taken from my account. This allows you to not go extravagant spending or not go, buy things that are beyond your means, and it really keeps you in control. Another thing is there's no annual fee. A lot of credit cards might charge annual fees, whereas all debit cards have zero annual fee. Now, fraud protection, like we discussed in the credit cards, they provide excellent fraud protection. With debit cards, it's more of subpar. Some of them do, some of them don't. So you're going to have a lot more likely chance to lose your money in a fraud case with a debit card than you are with a credit card. Now, back to cons of the debit card. No cash back, no rewards, no points, no miles, no travel, no nothing. So with a debit card, you're not going to be able to get any of those perks that you would get with a credit card. Now, secondly, like we discussed, you cannot build credit history with your debit card. Another one is, even though there's no annual fee, some debit cards might charge monthly maintenance fees. So this is basically debit cards versus credit cards in a overall look. Things are really changing fast with a lot of credit cards becoming more like debit cards in the sense of no annual fee. Now, in 2021, there are hundreds and hundreds of great no annual fee credit cards out there, and debit cards are becoming more like credit cards in the way of fraud protection, with new credit cards offering 100% fraud protection and all these things that make it more like a credit card. So this is kind of just the overall thing for most things. And now is the thing, what is right for you? So I'm not here to tell you whether you should get a credit card or a debit card. That is completely up to you. So you know yourself. You know what type of a spender you are. The biggest thing is just having the discipline to not overspend, to not overdraft, and to make sure that you are saving up enough money and spending money that you actually have. So that's been it, guys. Credit cards versus debit cards. Quick video. Any other video suggestions, please go ahead and drop it down in the comments below. I would be more than happy to make those videos for y'all. Thank you so much. Our channel has been doing great. Yeah. Anything else? Just drop it down in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.